What's up, you moneymakers? Welcome back to the channel. Nio is down 9% today. It is at $4.47, and you might be wondering what happened, why the stock is down 9%. We were talking yesterday that $4.92 when Nio was closed at $4.92 yesterday. That was the pretty good turning point, and we wanted to figure out where the stock goes. But guess what? I just want to warn you, and I want to tell you why the stock was down. So let me tell you, number one reason, the stock is down 9%, double-digit sales drop, and a major investor pullback. Now, this can create a lot of alarming signals for you if you own Nio, but we'll go through it. I'll share my details that I have researched and my personal thoughts and opinion as well. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor nor I'm a certified professional, but I want to share what I figure out myself, hoping that you can make informed financial decision. So who is this major investor? That's Citigroup, and they have decided, or they have been declining. There is a decline in the stakeholding that Citibank has. So let's get into it. I'm going to share these details with you right here in this video. So watch for next couple of minutes and you'll have an idea exactly what happens when the stock goes up and down. You really want to find out, especially if you own the stock, what is the future. If you don't own the stock and if you want to buy in, you need to really be careful that what are the catalysts, and this is one of the big catalysts. So let's look into it. Nio plunged 9% on Tuesday amid sharp weekly registration declines. So that's number one. That's the pretty good catalyst as well. But even bigger catalyst is Citigroup's 6.5% stake reduction. So don't go by what the analysts are saying. Go by what the big financial institutions are doing. I'm not saying you buy, you sell, maybe you do a swing trade. Who knows? So let's talk about it. The shares of EV maker Nio plunged about 9% Tuesday due to the double-digit drops in weekly registration between August 4 and August 10th. Now, this is pretty volatile, as you know that Chinese market and EV registrations are creating a lot of buzz, right? The drop in this penny stock also stems from Citigroup's major investor. Citigroup is a major investor in Nio, and they're reducing their stake in Nio by 6.5% last quarter, which is again not really a motivating news. So it demotivated a lot of investors. Before I go ahead, I wanted to tell you what happened. Now, the volume, as you can imagine, is pretty high. So Nio had 218% up volume versus the average. Their average volume is 48.71 million, which is the daily 65-day average. However, Nio had 106.2 million transactions today. Now, what that means is there is a ton of short selling. So let's take a look. So today's August 12th, and as you can see right here, FINRA short volume ratio for Nio is 60.13%. That means the FINRA total volume 48.5 mil, and the short volume is 29.1 million. Now, as you can imagine, when this kind of news hits the market, you are going to see some traction. And today was such a bad day for Nio, and the stock is down 9%. Let's talk a little bit more about the sales performance. What they're doing is their brand with Firefly, Onvo, and they're still seeing the registration decline by 12 to 13% respectively, which is not a great sign. Major investors lower stake in Nio. This is the secret sauce as to why Nio is down today. Remember, furthermore, adding to investors' concern, because when the biggest investor that Nio has, especially someone like Citigroup, who is a reputed financial institution, if they are reducing their stake by 6.5%, that creates a lot of negative comments and sentiment into the market, right? Now, that's not end of the story. It's not it's not end of the world. So let's talk about it. Citigroup disclosed a lower stake in the company. The move comes after the bank significantly raised its stake by 400% in the first quarter of 2025, adding 6 million shares to its portfolio. The SEC filing that Nio has, and I'll go through it in the next video. By the way, don't forget to click the like button because I'm putting a lot of energy and efforts. Don't forget to subscribe so you get timely updates as well. Right? Nio's 7th largest institutional investor, and now they are holding 6.8 million shares. which is a decrease of 475,000 shares since March 31st. It must be noted that Citigroup has been an investor in Nio since the IPO in 2018. Now, is Nio is buy or sell? You decide yourself. $4.65 is the consensus on tip ranks, right? The highest price point analysts are guessing or predicting is $8.10, average $4.65, and the lowest price point that they are anticipating or foreseeing is $3. Now, once again, we have seen a pretty high short volume. So if you think about like what Nio was doing in the past few days, it was doing in 30s, and all of a sudden it jumped to 60s, and that bumped up the volume once again as well, which is 218% of the total volume or the average volume, with the total volume of 106 million. Now let's take a look a little bit more as to how stock is performing. But if you think about Nio overall, right? So let's say, yes, today it's 9% down. 5 days it's down 2.61%. 1 month we're up 7.19%. 6 months we're up 6%. Year to date 2%. Now, this is a pretty volatile stock, so you can't really just think that it's gonna go in one direction. So this is what it is. We are up 18%, 19% within last 1 year if you think that way. Now, I told you yesterday what you want to think about. What is the price resistance that Nio has? Take a look right here. Now, when we're up, right, like all the way through $4.85, we have seen a pretty big red juicy bar that suggests that the shares were struggling. People started selling off, and as soon as it starts going up, we are seeing red juicy bar. So it's not sustaining. If you take a look at 5 days, let's see what happens. So we had a stair step up, right? For last 5 days, we went from 453 all the way through 465. From there, we went down, we went up, we went down, we went up, and we managed to go to $5.01, but we did not sustain. Guess what? With the not so positive news, or rather negative sentiment, we dropped down drastically today, and we did not really go above and beyond this 456. I'm sorry. Now that's a pretty good resistance, right? We'll have to watch out for if we can cross and sustain about this 456. Take a look. We got a pretty good support at 456, but we did not sustain. This is 5-day chart once again. One thing you want to watch out for is $5.01 price point, right? So we went to 506, we were closed at 501, which is a pretty big resistance. Yesterday we saw $5.01. Can we go back there? Probably not for next couple of days. I'll keep you posted. But the volume jumped up 3x, right, since yesterday. 36 million, give or take. Now we are 100 million in terms of the volume. Before that, we have seen that 509, we did not sustain, and we're closed at 492 on July 25th. July 28th, 501, again, 483, we did not sustain, and we tried going back up, 406, 498, sorry, 506, we cannot sustain, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to go through one more thing, that is options, calls, and puts. If you think about it, what's going to happen, we do have pretty good support in terms of the calls. We have good volume at $4.50, 18,000. We have pretty good open interest, that is 25,000 as well. So that's a good sign. Again, 20,000 and 41,000 open interest at $5. Whereas it's a mixed bag right now, right? Like, so let's take a look right here. So 450, we are seeing 24,916 volume and close to 14,000 open interest. So there's a good amount of interest, but we are not going down from here because we don't really see a lot of volume. When we go down like $4, $350, we don't have good volume. We do have some open interest, but who knows, will that convert into the transactions or not? Whereas in the call option at 455, 550, we are seeing good amount of interest, which is open interest, and we are seeing good amount of volume as well. So with that, I just wanted to tell you, if you did not know why Nio dropped, you really want to understand there are a couple of things. One is the double-digit sales drop, and the second thing is Citibank declared, or they filed the papers saying they have decreased 475,000 shares of Nio in their investment portfolio, which is 6.5% stake reduction. Now, Citibank has been a loyal investor since the IPO 2018. I'll keep you posted. If you haven't clicked the like button, do me a favor, do that. Click the like button. for YouTube algorithm. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.